Hello everyone, Neil back once again with another quick TV/streaming review for you. And today I'm going to be taking a look at Better Call Saul, Season 6, Part 1, on both AMC and Netflix too, so take your pick. This is the final season, and by the very end we're going to get a total of 63 episodes. I mean, wow, this series has legs. It's a wonderful spin-off prequel series to Breaking Bad. And it's set in the mid-2000s. We learn a lot about Jimmy McGill and a lot of other characters, too, that we've come to know and love in Breaking Bad. So, with 6 being the final season, split into 2 parts, I'm just going to be reviewing the first 7 episodes here. So, naturally, spoilers. Spoiler alert for anyone out there that hasn't seen Season 6 yet. So if you haven't, go see Season 6 and then come back. Of course, if you haven't seen any of Better Call Saul, you're going to be completely lost. So, yeah, definitely watch this series. I highly recommend it. It's intense, dramatic, tragic. The acting is brilliant. I love it. So, let's get to the story here. Basically, I'm not going to talk about everything. I mean, I'm not going to make a giant review here about these 7 episodes. I'm just going to hit the main plot points here. So, Jimmy McGill, a.k.a. Saul Goodman, and his girlfriend, Kim Wexler, they scheme to ruin Howard Hamlin's life. So they frame him, and this other guy that works at H&M, the law firm, his name is Clifford Mayne, played by Ed Begley Jr. He's witness to all of these framings on Howard. So somehow Howard actually kind of, he's calm, he doesn't overreact or anything, and therefore he doesn't really, he doesn't seem guilty. He's just like, well, there's a reasonable explanation for this, he's, very calm, surprisingly calm. Meanwhile, Nacho is on the run from the cartel after basically helping to set up a failed assassination attempt on the murderous Lalo Salamanca, who winds up making Gustavo think he's dead. So Nacho's on the run in Mexico, and Lalo is also on the run as he's escaped. And he's very resourceful, a very resilient man. So he's pretty dangerous, pretty scary, intimidating character. Played by Tony Dalton. Lalo is played by Tony Dalton. I've never seen him before, but he looks very, very familiar. Anyway, very good performance. And that's really the main plot point here is, in this season, is that Lalo lives. And Nacho, I mean, he almost gets caught a couple of times, but he gives himself up to protect his father. He's worried about his father's life. So he actually dies by his own hand rather than being killed by the cartel members and everything. Michael Mando is actually the actor who plays Nacho, and he did an excellent, excellent job. Saul and Kim continue to mess with Howard to the point where Howard basically figures it out. He says, you know what, I think I've got a Jimmy McGill problem. So he winds up calling him out to a boxing match, which Saul accepts, Jimmy accepts, although he shouldn't have because he lost the boxing match. But that's Howard's way of settling things, and he thinks it's all settled and all over and all good. How wrong is he? Now, back to Lilo, who is, getting info on Gustavo Fring's operation, because he knows Nacho's the one that did it, and he knows that, Gustavo Fring is his main target now. He's very smart, though. He's hiding underground and everything. So he actually winds up figuring out where the meth lab is being built as well. So he hides in the sewers just like right across the street from it, basically. And that spells trouble for many characters. It's the same meth lab, I believe, that we see later in Breaking Bad. Now, Michael, wonderfully played, once again, by Jonathan Banks. He has a few very wonderful moments here in this season, working for Gustavo Fring, Giancarlo Esposito, once again, of course, in order to help his daughter and his granddaughter. He's helped supporting them, so, he's doing it for that reason. So, I mean, really, he's always been a really great, stand-up character, Michael. So, great character. Jimmy and Kim, they have one more career-ruining scheme frame job in mind to really put Howard over the edge this time. They hire a private investigator to pretend to be an investigator for Howard, and it's this whole elaborate thing where they hire actors to make it look like, they're doing something wrong when they're not. It's quite elaborate, quite well done, and they really make him look crazy this time. Although again, Howard remains calm as he's being ruined. So Howard, well, they wind up losing, what they wanted to do there, and he gets drunk and he shows up at Jimmy and Kim's place, and then we see a candle flicker, and this time the candle flickers, someone else comes in, and it's Lalo. And Lalo shoots Howard in the head, and Jimmy's reaction to seeing this, this long thought dead character is absolutely priceless. He's just like, his mouth agape, just really well done. I mean, Bob is such a convincing actor in this role. He's amazing. So Lalo says that he wants to talk, and that's where we end. Although we do come up on a shot of the apartment at the very end of this episode, which is the final episode of the season, and we hear Jimmy say, despite all that, it was a happy ending. So we don't really know what that means, but I have a few ideas. Not looking too good for a couple of characters in part 2 here. Certainly, as we know, Lalo is not in Breaking Bad, as far as I remember, and Kim Wexler certainly isn't either. Although we don't know that necessarily she's going to die. It's just not looking too good for her right now. I mean, this show is, it's a drama, it's a tragedy, right? It's a series of problems and trouble that gets worse and worse and worse. So just like Breaking Bad and other shows like Ozark and things like, people get into trouble. They do underhanded illegal things, but a lot of them are still good people, deep down. They're kind of desperate and whatnot. But yeah, a lot of characters wind up, getting theirs, let's say, in one way or the other, unfortunately. So, yeah. It is a great show, though. It's a great drama. It's a little slow at times. There's a couple episodes where it's kind of dragging a little bit because it is very dialogue heavy. But again, it is a drama. It's not an action show. But still, I did think it wasn't as well paced as it could have been, kind of in the middle there of this part 1 of this season. So, well, despite that, I mean, it's just really amazing a lot of the time. The acting, the intensity, the directorial choices are fantastic. In fact, Rhea Seehorn, who plays Kim Wexler, directed an episode here and did a fantastic job. So, yeah, it is a really, really, really great show, and I cannot wait until part 2. I'm going to give Better Call Saul, Season 6, Part 1, a 9 out of 10, because it's that damn good. Yeah. If you haven't seen any of this, go see it. Go seek it out, especially if you do have Netflix. You can watch it anytime you want if you have that. And highly recommend Better Call Saul. You got to watch it. You got to call Saul. All right. Thanks so much for tuning in to this quick TV/streaming review. And until next time, this is Neil. Peace.